Well, would you look at that? The chickens are coming home to roost, Bobby Boucher. You'll reap the fruit of your selfish ways, because Uber's the devil. On behalf of all Uber drivers, we have been trying to warn you guys how problematic what Uber is doing is. People don't appreciate the impact that Uber has had other than, wow, you can order a car. That's great, but that's not the issue here. We've been trying to tell you. This is how this model is, and paired with AI, how it's literally going to change the entire world. And sure, it remains to be seen if it's for better or for worse. But after I explain everything that's going on, let me ask you a few questions, and I think you'll be able to figure out who's going to get screwed in this situation. Hot off the presses from Yahoo Finance, Wendy's is looking to test having the prices of its menu fluctuate throughout the day based on demand, implementing a strategy that has already taken hold with ride-sharing companies and ticket sellers. Now, ticket sellers, I think, is unfair to compare with ride-sharing companies because you get a ticket for a single event, and every single event has different interest. And it only happens at one time. You know, the show starts at 8. It's not like a ride-sharing app where you can literally order it at any point during the day. During a conference call earlier this month, Wendy's CEO Kirk Tanner said that the Dublin, Ohio-based burger chain will start testing dynamic pricing. First of all, I did not know Wendy started in Ohio, so that's a little confusing there. When I first read this, I thought it was only testing in Ohio, but I guess it's going to test all over the country and maybe the world. Anyway, they'll start testing dynamic pricing, also known as surge pricing, as early as next year. Beginning as early as 2025, we will begin testing more enhanced features like dynamic pricing and day part offerings, along with AI-enabled menu changes and suggestive selling, he said. As we continue to show the benefit of this technology in our company-operated restaurants, franchise interest and digital menu boards should increase, further supporting sales and profit growth across the system. Do you guys realize how problematic this is? Who's going to win in this situation? What happens when the person who's going to Wendy's because it's a quick, cheap option for them when they're in between two jobs or coming home from a late shift? What happens when the cheap burger they were banking on is actually 4 times more expensive because it happens to be surge pricing hours? And forget Wendy's, let's extrapolate that out. Imagine every time you went to the grocery store, you don't know how much you're going to pay for apples. Imagine every time you drive down to the Jersey Shore, you don't know how much the toll's going to cost because during surge hours, they're going to charge more. Imagine when AI technology becomes so sophisticated that it recognizes you and your car when you pull up to the gas pump, and it knows that you're heading to work, and it knows that you need to be at work by a certain time. So whatever they charge you at the gas pump, you're not going to be able to say no because you have to fill your tank up and get to work. Don't think this is going to stop at Wendy's unless somebody does something about it. And listen, I am the last person to want government regulation with anything, but I'm telling you, this monster could get out of control. And I haven't even touched on the aspect of this that is talking about upselling customers based on their preferences. Do you think a fast food restaurant is going to try to upsell you based on what's in your best interest for your health? Or are they just going to try to stuff you with as many empty calories as your wallet allows? And the worst part about it, as always, the working man is going to get stiff. Let me ask you, let's say Wendy's is surging the price of their burgers between 5 and 6 at night. Do you think the Wendy's worker flipping that burger is going to have their pay reflected in that surge price? I highly doubt it. How come the CEO isn't talking about rolling out dynamic payroll increases when the restaurant's busier than at other times? On a related note, shout out to everybody who works at a fast food joint on an hourly wage, or I always think of the people at Wawa. I always think it's so unfair when they get slammed with like 100 people during rush hour, and I'm like, it's not right that they're getting paid the same amount of money as the guy who works at the Wawa down the street who doesn't get slammed during rush hour, and he only had to make 2 hoagies during that same period of time. We need to stop this monster before it gets out of control. Join me in my boycott of Wendy's. It's a shame because it's probably my favorite thing in the world to dip those delicious, hot, salty fries into a cool vanilla frosty. I mean, I've mentioned my love for this treat on this channel multiple times before, but no more. I cannot sit idly by and watch this monster get out of control. I already did enough damage by being part of the problem with Uber, so I am officially starting my boycott of Wendy's until they revoke their surge pricing garbage that they're trying to put on us. Okay, ran over. Here's a video with puppies to distract you from the fact that artificial intelligence is about to take over the world.